Please realize individuality determines experience. Okay? Because you don't want people to look down on you, you miss the opportunity for them to look up to you. You know, we don't want to step out sometimes because we're afraid of that moment of rejection. We're afraid of that moment of others looking down on you for your actions. Our fears of stepping out of the crowd, of not looking like everybody else. We want to fit in. We don't want to ruffle any feathers. We don't want to offend nobody. We don't want anybody to think differently of us, or, you know, we don't want to be rejected. So many times we miss greatness because of our unwillingness, our fear of stepping out of the crowd. You understand? Please realize individuality determines experience. Your uniqueness is what will make you great. You understand? Your willingness to step out of the crowd, your willingness to not just go with the flow, but to stand up for something or to do something extraordinary. You know, that line that we cross over, you understand? There's that line of fear, there's that line. And if you're willing to cross over that line, well, that's where greatness is. But if you just want to stay in line and you don't want to step out of line and you just want to go along with the flow, it's like, you know what? There's no greatness there. It's just, you're just going with the flow. You're just staying where it's comfortable, where it's safe. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to reject you, but people might reject me if I step out. People might not like what I have to say. And so pride, man, our pride, our ego, we're so afraid to hurt that ego. It's stepping away, saying, I don't care if you look down on me. I'm doing it anyway. And the reality is that's where greatness is achieved. That's where you can achieve greatness. That's where it's discovered. That's where it's realized. That's where greatness is experienced. Only by stepping out of the crowd. Only by being willing to do something first that others aren't doing. No, greatness is by stepping out of that line, stepping out of that crowd, not just staying in the mundane of going with the flow. You understand? So it's experiencing what nobody else is going to experience, and the only way to experience that is by stepping out, is by being and then people look out and say, wow, look at that. You understand? And so it's the only way by experiencing nobody else is experiencing is by taking a step, taking the first step, being the one that's willing to say, you know what, I don't care if you reject me right now. I don't care if you don't agree with me right now. I don't care if you're not with me right now. I'm doing it anyways. That's what it's about. I'm doing it anyways. Even against the crowd, even against what everybody else is saying, even against what's popular, even against what everybody else thinks I should do. Active. All characters, thoughts, invent victory everywhere. The majority never initiate what's right. It's being active. It's you can sit in and just chill where it's comfortable, or you can be active. You understand? That's what we call people, they're activists. You understand? They're very active in their beliefs. So that's what it's about. It's about being active. It's being alive. It's doing something. You know, it's living. And so do something and then people will come alongside you. Don't wait for people to be coming alongside you. You step out and you do it, and you might experience some resistance, some rejection, you understand, some lack of understanding, some disagreements, some opposition of opinion, you know. And so it's stepping out, doing it anyways. You know, sometimes we come up with 1,000,001 excuses of why maybe this is not the right time, or oh, I shouldn't do it, or whatever. It's not to say sometimes you got to exercise some wisdom, yeah, but sometimes you got to take the chance. Never mind coming up with every excuse why you don't have to, or why you shouldn't, or why maybe it's not a good time right now, or whatever. Listen, our brain is really good at finding excuses as to why not to do things. You know, that's enough excuses for why I shouldn't do it. You know what? Why don't I just do it? Forward. Feel outward release within and receive direction instead of imposing limits on yourselves. We place limitations on ourselves that aren't really necessarily based on reality. understand? It's just our own theme. Maybe we have our own routine of life, or maybe we just have ideas that are erroneous, that are just wrong or off. And so sometimes we place limitations on ourselves, or just the way we think something needs to be done. We think that, oh, well, you know, it has to be done in this big complicated way. So it's, you know what, stop placing limitations, just do it. Don't make it complicated. Don't make it like you have to do all these big ideas. Sometimes it's a lot more simpler than we have it in our minds to be. And so stop placing limitations and just go. Just do it. Feel outward release within and receive direction. And so it's when you get that little thing snaps and you see that glimpse, you're like, no, you know what? I think I can do it. You know what I mean? Hang on to that. But your brain there's reasons for fear. There's reasons for things. There's things that are warning signs in our lives that we need to heed sometimes. So, you know, however, sometimes you think about it, you say, you've come to a place, you see, you're like, I think I can do it, and you do it, you know? And so you go for it. You feel an outward release within. You say, no, I see it, so you know what? I'm going to go for it. And receive direction. That's your guidance. That's your direction. When you catch that glimpse, yeah, I think I can do it. There's your direction. Go that way. Never mind, you come to a full, which way should I go? That's your direction. I watched the biography of Barack Obama. He's not that old, you know, he's fairly young. And, you know, he came to a point where it was like, is this the right time? You understand? When he went up, there was that question, is this the right time? Should I run now? Because I think they have a law in America that if you run for the presidency, you can't run again. You understand? So if you run and you lose for the presidency, you don't get a second chance at running again. So only the winner, he gets to run again for a second term, right? And so it was, is this the right time? You know, is this the right time for me to run for the presidency? That was a question that they faced, and they just went for it. You know what I mean? They say, you know what? Now I have the opportunity. Now is the time. I can see the opportunity, so you seize it. And that's what it is. When you see the opportunity, that's when you seize it. If you can, that's the time. Apparent possibilities prosper relentlessly, even hindering entire navigated determination. Don't just see it, seize it. You understand? So if you see the opportunity, that's the time that you can. If it's possible to make it happen, that's the time, man. And you know, and it was a decision. They had to make a strategic decision. Is this the right time for us to run for the presidency? Because, you know, he wants to become president. Is it too early? And they went for it, and look, they made the right decision. He became the first black president in history, right? In America.
The road ahead will be long. Our climb will be steep. We may not get there in 1 year or even in one term. But America, I have never been more hopeful than I am tonight that we will get there. I promise you, we as a people will get there.